it's Nicole from Nicole Loves Nails. Welcome to my channel.
So keep me in your sight, 'cause I can do this all night.
So today's video is for the newest release from China Glaze. This is their summer 2023 collection called What's the Scoop? Fluffernutter? Ow! Kittens. Fluffernutter really likes feet. He really likes feet. So today's video is for the newest release from China Glaze. This is their summer 2023 collection called What's the Scoop. Do not have much information on this collection other than it's their summer collection. It's called What's the Scoop, and that's basically it. I do believe the inspiration is ice cream. Promotion for this collection has not yet started yet. I am sure this will start popping up on other online retailers as well as in-store like within the next couple of weeks. So before we get into today's video, I do want to mention, if you are new around here, hi, I am Nicole. It is wonderful to meet you and thank you very much for clicking on today's video. Do consider hitting subscribe if you enjoy nail polish related content. I upload new videos on Tuesdays and Saturdays featuring a mixture of indie, mainstream, as well as boutique nail polish brands. I also go live every Sunday. If you are in fact a returning subscriber, welcome back. How are you doing? How's everyone's week going? So as I was saying, today's video is for the China Glaze summer collection for 2023. So I will also be throwing in some comparisons for these polishes because I went through my China Glaze stash trying to find something similar because the formulas are special on these. We'll say that.
That's suspicious.
I did purchase this collection from Polish Pick. I'll have it linked in the description box if you're going to grab it there. I'll also have links to other places China Glaze is sold in case you, I don't know, want to shop other places too. And I'm assuming since you clicked on today's video, you'd like China Glaze. I am reorganizing my entire nail polish collection, and the first video I was reorganizing my China Glaze collection. I'll have that linked in the description box as well as up in the cards if you're interested in that. As always, down in the description box, I will have links to where you can purchase these polishes, links to the China Glaze social media pages, my social media pages, as well as a link to my blog post on NicoleLovesNails.com where I host all of my swatch photos. That is everything. Yes, so let's get into this video. First up, we have Tan-Burr-ine. I would describe this one as a bright neon pink crelly. So all the polishes in this release have more of a crelly formula than a cream. This is one of the more opaque polishes in the release. I also think this one probably had one of the better formulas in the release. I love this color. I love how bright it is. I just love it. It's like a neon pink, and y'all know I love me a neon pink. I found coverage to be pretty good with this one in 2 coats, but I do think it will be a 2 to 3 coater depending on your own personal preference. For my full hand swatches, I used 2 coats, but I did have just like a little bit of visible nail line peeking through. And of course, because this is a neon, it is therefore incredibly difficult to get completely photo accurate. Is Tan-Burr-ine in 2 coats plus glossy top coat. Longer nails will probably want to go in for a 3rd coat. And for comparison, I pulled out quite a few China Glaze polishes. The most similar base color to this one is China Glaze's Escape Reality. And now we have Will That Be a Cup or a Cone? I would describe this one as a neon bubblegum pink crelly. So this one had an okay formula. It was very streaky. Don't do what I just did and do a whole bunch of brush strokes. Try to do as few brush strokes as possible. Float your brush if you can. This one, I wouldn't say the formula was necessarily bad, but I did just have a little bit of difficulty with it. I am a chronic overworker of my nail polish. Like, I always kind of feel like if I just do a couple more brush strokes, I can even everything out. And this is not the kind of polish that you want to keep on brush stroking to try to even everything out. I will say in 3 coats, I didn't have any light spots and it was not streaky at all for me. In 2 coats, I definitely had some dark spots. So if you aren't super picky about dark spots, passable in 2 coats. If you're like me and don't tolerate it, you're going to want to go in for 3 coats. Despite this one being a 3 coater and a little bit finicky, I do think it's a really cute color and I could see myself reaching for it. For comparisons, I pulled out some of China Glaze's other like neon bubblegum pinks. This was a little bit darker than the ones that I personally owned, and it was more warmer in tone than Night Owl Lacquer's Persist, which is another one of my favorites. Next up, we have Glad You Melt Me. I would describe this as a sheer, bright tangerine crelly. This was the first polish from the collection that I swatched. It had me very concerned. It is on the thinner side and down the stem of my brush quite a bit, so make sure to wipe both sides of the stem of your brush before you start applying this one to your nail. Other than being a sheer, jelly, crelly kind of polish and being a bit on the more thin side, Overall, I wouldn't say this was a bad polish. I think it's kind of cute. The color of it reminds me a lot of that drink Tang. I feel like this polish might be a tough sell for a lot of people because I know a lot of people do not like the prospect of doing 3 coats of anything. Would be very hesitant to say this one is okay in 2. I personally didn't love the amount of dark spots that I had in 2 coats. Like, I just didn't think coverage was even enough for me in 2 coats. In 3 coats, again, I think it's cute. Like, I think it has a very squishy look on the nail, which I kind of vibe with. I use top coat for my swatches, but this dries down very glossy. I have quite a few polishes that I would say are in that tang / creamsicle orange kind of shade, but I didn't have anything that has that same squishy kind of look as this polish. And now we have Berry Yummy. I'll describe this as a bright, sunshiny yellow Crelly. So where the last polish was very sheer, but it built up nicely in 3 coats, this polish was a finicky, streaky mess. It is incredibly thin to the point of being watery. When I tried to float my coats on, I found that the amount of polish I needed to float caused a gigantic mess on my nail. And then when I went in for like a thinner coat to try to do less brush strokes, then it was not enough polish and just made the polish even more streaky. All of this is super unfortunate because I feel like when I got my 3 coats on, got everything, I thought it looked really gorgeous. However, I did find in person, I could still see some dark spots on my nails after 3 coats. Yeah, this was such a disappointment. Like, I was just so disappointed! It really bums me out because I feel like my photos in the video make this look, other than the live swatch that is, make this look really, really nice, but like I can't stress enough how much the application was just not good. This will be one of those polishes where if you could tolerate a not good application for a decent final payoff, then this one will work for you. But if you can't tolerate that kind of thing, definitely pass this one. As far as comparisons go, I couldn't find anything that I had that was the exact same shade of yellow. As I was recording this voiceover, I remember that Cert Colors released a polish called Hedonist in one of their Vice collections a few years ago. The bottle of Hedonist has faded a lot, so I can't really say how similar these would be if the bottle was still brand new. I also don't recall Hedonist having like the best formula either. And now we have Frozen in Lime. I'll just describe this one as a neon lime green Crelly. I was really disappointed by this one too. Like, it was very thin, very watery. I was not a fan, and also very streaky, which is a real bummer because I love a neon green, and this is very much like a neon green, and I love this kind of green, but like it just was not good. I feel like I'm being really hard on this one. Like, it's not the worst neon green I've ever tried in my lifetime. For my full hand swatches, I swatched this one in 3 coats. I only did 2 coats for the live swatch because I found in 2 coats for the live swatch you couldn't really see all of the dark spots that I was seeing in person, but they were definitely there in person. Like all of the polishes in the release, this does dry down fairly glossy on its own, but my photos do include glossy top coat. So for comparison, I pulled out Frosty Lime from last year's Dippin' Dots collection. That is a neon lime green that I would recommend. I also pulled out Once a Witch, Always a Witch, and I genuinely forgot how bad that polish was. Like, good lord, that was terrible. And the final polish is called Freezer Burn. I would describe this one as a vibrant medium blue Crelly. This was the polish that I was most excited for from the release. The color in the official photos just looks so gorgeous and so saturated that like I knew if the formula on this one was terrible, I was going to be really upset. Thankfully, the formula was absolutely fantastic. This coat is a little bit sheer, a little bit uneven, but not terribly so, and I found it built up really nicely in 2 to 3 coats. I personally really liked coverage on this one in 2 coats, but I did have just a couple of light spots that I thought would look bad for photos. For personal wear, I would wear this one in 2 coats, but for my full hand swatches, I did use 3 coats. Well, I definitely think this is a gorgeous blue. It does seem to be like a Crelly version to Night Owl Lacquer's Feeling Blue Without You. It is also not a dupe for Orly's It's Brittany Beach or Essie's Butler Please. Butler Please looks more like Brittany Beach in case anyone was curious. It's a lot more vibrant. Alright, so final thoughts. I am very conflicted about this collection. I think the color story is pretty. I think it's nice. I think this is a nice summer collection. I think the colors are really bright and vibrant. They look really nice. in photographs. They look nice in person too, but like the formulations I don't love. When I was doing my comparisons, I found that like a lot of the China Glaze polishes that are like way years ago that like I remember loving to death when they were released, going back and swatching some of them for comparisons were reminding me on how much of iffy formulas I was okay with like 5, 6, 7, 8, so on and so on years ago. I was okay with like an iffy formula if the overall payoff after 3 coats was like really gorgeous. And I feel like now I am not nearly as forgiving on doing 3 coats for what is essentially looks like a cream polish for me. Like I feel like I'm not nearly as forgiving now as I was like 6, 7 years ago. But I also think 6, 7 years ago, I feel like that was kind of the standard for, especially for neons. Yeah, I'm just feeling real conflicted. I wish that these were like a normal cream formula like the spring collection was. I know a lot of people didn't like the spring collection. I personally love the spring collection. When I saw this collection was all going to be creams, I was disappointed. I'm not gonna lie, like we just had an all cream collection. But because I loved the polishes in the Hello Sugar collection, I held out hope that I would also like this collection. But like when I saw how sheer these ones start out and how they all are pretty much 3 coaters, like a couple of the colors passable into, it was a little disappointing. I'm not gonna lie, it was a little disappointing. China Glaze always has my heart. They're my favorite mainstream brand, but like I just, I'm disappointed, damn it.
Do you know that all of America is rooting for you? Do you know that? And then you come in here and you treat this like a joke? I was rooting for you! We were all rooting for you! How dare you! Learn something from this!
I wouldn't say these polishes are bad. Very Yummy and Frozen in Lime are the ones that I would not really recommend. Frozen Burn, without a doubt, will definitely be my top pick from this release. But yeah, this collection was a little disappointing. I'm honestly really hoping that we get a couple of surprise collections from China Glaze. So those are my thoughts. I hope I'm gonna have to edit so much of that out because I was like, what did I really though? I'm just conflicted over this release. Like, I think the colors look good. I think the color story is nice. It's bright, it's vibrant, it's very summery. But like, half the collection's formulas just, they weren't it. And I was just disappointed! I was so damn disappointed. So yeah, I would love knowing everyone else saw this release. Like, are you planning on picking it? Again, promotion for this one has not yet started, but I will have links in the description box if you want to pick this one up from Polish Pick early, or if you want to wait for it to pop up at like all the other nail places. So yeah, I'd love to know everyone's thoughts. Before we end today's video, I do want to give a very special shout out to my channel members, besties. Just thank you all so damn much. You guys are seriously awesome. Your names are all on the screen right now. If you would like to join my channel memberships, I have a link for that in the description box. But if not, it's fine. You don't have to. Just, you know, like this video, comment, share, all of the things, and we are good. I hope everyone has a fantastic weekend, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye.